Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's your girl, Mysterious Jax. You are now tuned into Ladies Night Radio Show, coming to you live from the Good News Studio. Also here with me are my beautiful, crazy, funny ladies.
Hey, y'all. Feliz Viernes.
We
Crazy
made it.
Maria on the mic. We sure did, girl. Another week down for the books.
Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all. It's Mari on the mic. Happy to be here.
You guys know how I always leave us on mute?
Yeah.
So what happened was I was
waiting.
I ended up stopping the intro music and letting the mute. Anyways, that's what threw me off. So
No, we were all, but I like that we were all in sync, like waiting, and then we was all like, okay,
Oh my God. Yeah. You know, it's one of those Fridays that we just had a long
made it.
day, and
That's
we
all
made it. It was a fast week, but today was a long day. So, you know. But anyways, it's Friday. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We got the drinks going. We got the tequila.
Yes,
we got
the 3 days.
Yes, 3-day weekends.
Is it really a 3-day weekend?
Yeah, Veterans Day.
Oh shit.
See,
Did not
see?
know that. Oh, we really got to turn up.
Yeah.
Hey.
Where the ladies at?
Hey.
Where the ladies at?
Where the ladies at? All right, ladies. Today we have a guest co-host.
Hey.
Yes, she is the host of her own show called The Queen Pin.
Yes.
She is your fairy hood mother, as she says, that you can catch every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on the Good News Radio and Podcast Network. Ladies, help me welcome Briyanna.
Hey.
Finally, you all ladies.
I know.
She made it. She made it to the get down.
She did. Welcome to Ladies Night, Briyanna.
Thank you. Thank
Honestly,
you for having me.
you're of course. I'm so happy that you're here. We've been trying to get everybody, from the Good News Network on here, and I was like, Briyanna, you're next, girl.
Yeah.
We've had almost everybody here, so I'm glad you finally got to join us. I think we've had everybody on the network except for like maybe 2 of the sports shows that are new too.
Shows. I was like, shows.
Yeah, I think the Mark My Words with Mark Gunnels, and I was gonna say Sports Talk with Mark, but he's always
He's
here.
here. Yeah.
He's always
He's
here.
just popping up.
Hey, Mark, if you listen and pop up, bring us some alcohol.
Yeah. Or snacks. Or snacks.
or snacks. That's right. Yeah. I think what we need to do is have courtside, because the only person that came from courtside was Michael, and that's because he didn't tell the rest of his squad that we invited them. He's like, no, I want all the shine for me, for the ladies.
They were like, nobody got the memo, and I was like, what?
I know, because I told them, I was like, you guys know I invited courtside to ladies night. They were like, we never got the memo. I said, well, Michael came.
Wow.
So shout out to Michael who rode through. He loves it. He loves the just jumping on everybody's show. Has he been on your show yet?
No.
Oh yeah, you ask him, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Open that up. He'll definitely
Awesome.
go through. Well, all right. Well, where can they find you? Where can they find Briyanna the Queen Pin, the fairy hood mother?
You can find me everywhere. No. you can find me at the queenpin.pod. Y'all need to follow that page.
Hey, that's right.
And
that's
here at
right.
the Good News, like you said.
That's right. The Good
Every
News.
Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Show.
Yes. And you just had an episode yesterday, and you kind of touched about some of the stuff that we're talking about today with T.I.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what you're saying, but for sure, if you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about virginity today. Is it overrated? And also, when is the best time to talk to your children about sex? Having the whole birds and the bees, the sex talk, and we're also going to talk about our sex talk. What age were you when you got the sex talk? If you got the sex talk, or what was your parents' way of telling you? Because our parents really didn't talk about it as much as we are talking about it more now. I mean, obviously not as much, but we're definitely communicating a little bit better because of the way that we grew up. We wanted to make it a little bit different. At least with me and my sister and the nieces. Do you have me on live, Maria? What's going on over there?
I sure do.
if you
I'm trying to let our listeners know that we going in and the topic's going to be really hot.
It is.
You
It
know,
is.
sex talk with your kids or just in general, what you received as a child, that's a huge thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some of us parents that are new parents want to really hear about it. So,
And I know,
in.
so I know that we're also going to talk about virginity, and there's a lot of people that are virgins that are going to listen to it. So I also want to talk about giving them advice. Like if we had a virgin in the room, male or female, what advice would you give to them? So we're going to talk about that as well. Yeah, so we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and start with our first segment of the night, which is Chisme.
Tengo una clase de chisme de otro mundo.
No me diga, nena, cuéntame.
Bueno,
And I was going to have you send a video to everybody on the IG as a reminder that we're live. Anyways, so the first chisme of the night is Chris Brown had a yard sale. So apparently Chris Brown invited the world to his mansion for a yard sale. He went on Twitter and posted his home address where many fans waited hours to get in. Yeah, he posted his address on a flyer and posted it on Instagram. It seemed pretty organized, and there was security and police nearby just to keep things in check. The fans were let in 10 at a time and given 20 minutes to shop away. The yard sale would include some new items and some used items worn by Chris Brown, even some he wore in a music video and or red carpets. Chris Brown posted a video on his IG saying that this is his way to give back to his fans for helping him stay number one with his music. He hopes to do this annually, he said. I tried to make the clothes as cheap as possible. I come from the hood, so I had to make do with what I had. I have an abundance of clothes, so why be stingy? Thank you, Team Breezy. And he posted that on Instagram, and according to the press release, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to several nonprofit organizations that Chris Brown supports. So how many of y'all went to Chris Brown's yard sale?
The traffic, I don't think so. We're from LA.
Right. I
It's
literally
okay.
could have gone, and I was like, I'm not driving to Tarzan.
I don't want to get like
No.
stabbed to death. I don't know the kind of people that are like going over there, but it's like you got to be a certain type of person to go to like a millionaire's yard sale. Like you know
somebody knocking?
damn well
Yeah.
it was still expensive.
I
No,
thought that was a
actually,
good idea.
You think they were like $10-$20 jeans?
So there was a video of somebody posting this big jacket, and it originally was going for $100, but the lady that rung him up because the sticker or whatever fell, quote unquote, they only charged him $20 for this like big Astros jacket, and it was really nice. It looked in good condition.
Wow.
But somebody else did say, like, you know, there was, you know, I guess he was going with his expectations, like, you know, like high end quality, this and that. He said apparently there was like maybe one rack that had like high end brands, and like one person came across them and bought like most of them, like 8 of them.
Oh,
But he
wow.
sounded really disappointed and like, you know, it wasn't much. I'm like, have you been to a yard sale? Do you know what a yard sale is?
Like there ain't nothing there.
So this one girl, she actually is on a radio show, and she documented her whole thing of going to the yard sale. She said she got there. She's like in the Uber. She's like, you know, my Uber driver thinks I'm crazy for going because the line is crazy, whatever. At 6:20, I think she got to the front of the line, and they made everybody go away. So she waited for like hours, and when at like 6 something came, they made everybody leave. So she came back the next day because she almost like her co-host was like, just go back. You spent the whole day there. Don't make it a waste. Just go.
Yeah.
So she went. She ended up going. She recorded. She put everything that she bought on the bed, and she shows her a tag. It says 4 items sold. And the items that she bought, I was like, what? It was not.
What do you mean? Like were they ugly?
So she bought these sandals. I think the sandals were either $20 or $50. I can't remember. No, I think they were $20. They were like slides.
Yeah.
They were like whatever sandals. I mean, I'm sure he wore them, whatever. And then she bought 3 shirts, and they were all like extra large. Like and she's a tiny girl, so
Yeah. So she's gonna. I mean, people said they're gonna resell them.
resell them. But I think she said one of the shirts she was gonna cut like a crop top. But even like a crop top extra large, I mean, you're gonna have to sew it. You're gonna have to do a lot of stuff to it. And then she showed up close. There was like yellow stains, you know, on one of those. You know, the shirts like after a while.
Ew, on the whitish.
Yeah, but some people were like, "So what? That's Chris Brown's shirt." Like I was like, "Who cares?"
Would
Like
you go to a regular yard sale and get somebody else's sweat stains on you?
No.
Come on, y'all gotta have some standards.
Okay.
And I thought I was like a big Chris Brown fan, but I guess I'm not because I was not like hyped up to go there. I was
I'm your
nothing.
fan, but I don't want your sweat on me.
Yeah, I was like, "What do you got that I'm gonna want to wear?"
Yeah.
Like, nah.
I think I would have just gone.
You
and
ain't got
been
nothing for this
Metiche,
big
you know?
ass booty over here. Hello.
I'm like, what are your sizes?
I think it depends.
I would have been walking around the property. I
if
just want to
it's-
see.
If it's
Or
something,
Medici.
Yeah, looking through the drawers.
you say you don't want to wear his sweat, but if it's something that he performed in and you
Yeah,
can keep,
of
and then later
course.
on be,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, people
worth
go
money,
crazy
I
over a
get it,
towel that
right?
has sweat on it, or
Yeah.
that
I
they've.
don't know about a towel. I'm talking more like
No,
resell it.
Like, you know the concerts when they
Like
have like
underwear.
a towel in their back pocket and they get it and they wipe their sweat and then they throw it in the. Well, because remember when we went to the Genuine concert with Blackstreet, Genuine still, he still thought he had like that. He wiped the sweat off his body, his chest, and he threw it into the crowd.
Money over here having an orgasm over there.
Oh my
They went
gosh.
crazy because these
I
ladies.
would have let that fall though. It's sweat.
No, these ladies were going crazy for it, but they
Oh
were
my-
older ladies. They're
yeah.
probably like what in their 40s, 50s.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was old. It was at the casino at the Morongo Casino.
The casino.
We got free. My parents go there a lot, so they gave us free tickets. It was Blackstreet. It was Genuine. It was Cisco was there. He was doing the thong song. It was
Oh my gosh.
He sure was. Still talking about thong.
How many thongs?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. All right, so that's that. We all missed the yard sale. Sorry, Chris Brown. Next time, Team Breezy. Myra, would you have gone? Shout out to Myra. She's here. Would you have gone to the yard sale?
No, I would not have stood in that line.
It was ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought of you both when I saw that go down. I was
Girl.
like, because you guys are always talking about,
We do
when
not
his
want his
song
merch.
comes on,
No.
y'all
We
be
never said we
curling.
want his merch.
We said we wanted him, not his merch. There's
I
a
said,
difference.
These girls would love this.
Well, Maria, guess
I
what?
am not that kind of
The
fan.
next cheeseman, this celebrity says praying together with her husband makes them very horny. That's right.
I like how you just tell me this.
I didn't look.
In a recent interview, plus-size model Ashley Graham, who's expecting her first baby, said when the couple does their meditations and prayers together, it feels more powerful. When we're praying, it's like, oh, shit. Oh. Do you feel that? She said, laughing. The lights go down. The worship music goes up. And we're like, hello. After we pray, because priorities, we rip it off. She added, gesturing at her clothing. It's great. It's a great bonding experience for both, the spiritual aspect and the physical aspect, she says. In January, Graham told Elle magazine that the secret of keeping her 9-year marriage to Irvin, who is 31, is lots of sex. Have sex all the time, she said. Even if you don't feel like it, just have sex. I have found that if we haven't had sex, we get snippy. And then if we are having sex, we're all over each other. What do you think about that, Maria?
I just want to know the same thing Kyrie's asking. Who are they praying to? Like,
Who's getting you there?
I don't think Jesus wants to hear all that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like horny for the Lord or what?
Like she added all that into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think God would just turn his back and just let them, finish their prayer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
know
mean,
that sounded horrible.
I
but-
think it's just the idea that they're connecting in that type of spiritual element. It gets them like
To
even
another
hot and
level.
bothered for each other. Like I'm like praying with you, but at the same time that I don't know. Maybe it's her hormones too because she's pregnant. I don't know. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's their hormones.
I'm like, I don't
But
know
honestly,
about
that's
all
not
that.
a bad thing to have. Honestly, like
Never.
No, I think
Never.
like do whatever you feels right. I
Right.
don't know.
Right. I am a true believer in a couple or a family that prays together, stays together. So if that's what's making it
Well, that's
happen,
what's
more
keeping them.
power to you, honey.
Oh my gosh.
Just saying.
wait, hold on. Let me mute this real quick. Can you do that again?
Oh my.
Oh, Lord.
That's right. Hey, I don't need nobody else.
All right, on to the next cheese man. And this is going to kind of connect with today's topic. But yeah, we had to talk about it. T.I., He is in a hot mess in the internet. So rapper T.I. takes his teenage daughter to the gynecologist each year to check if her hymen is still intact. He said during a podcast released Tuesday that's since been deleted. So the podcast that he was interviewed on, they deleted that episode, just FYI.
Power
and then they apologize. Yeah, they I would have kept it.
I got a lot of facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even like legal things involved.
Oh, okay. And T.I. detailed aspects of the examination while appearing on the Ladies Like Us podcast. That's what it's called. When the conversation turned into parenting and the sex talk, which is what we're talking about tonight, ladies. So let us know what we can't say, Maddie, and we'll make sure we don't say it. The rapper involved his 18-year-old daughter, Deja Harris, who he says just began her first year of college. Right after her birthday, we celebrate. Then, usually like the day after the party, she's enjoying the gifts. I put a sticky note on the door. Tomorrow, 9:30, he said. That's all he puts. Harris' annual trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen began after her 16th birthday, he said. T.I. said his daughter's doctor requires her to sign a waiver allowing him to see the results of her examination. So the doctor makes sure, they're both okay.
Right.
The rapper indicated his daughter's gynecologist also explained other ways a hymen can become stretched open, such as riding a bike, or horseback riding, or other physical activities. And T.I. said, look, doc, she don't ride no horses. She don't ride no bikes. She don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results. He added, I will say as of her 18th birthday, her hymen is still intact. So this didn't sit well with a lot of people, and I'm sure T.I. has the best intentions and wants to protect his daughter, but T.I., this is not the way. Just FYI. This is from Jackie from Ladies Night. I'm not speaking for all the ladies because I'm sure everybody has their own opinion, but that's not the way, homie. All right, Maria, I see you making faces. I'm going to let you say something. Go ahead, Maria.
Okay, so when I first sent it to you guys, I was like, oh, this is, I'm with this. Like, this is nice. As I was listening to it, I thought he had said, we go in to check her height. But height. I don't know why I thought, and I thought, oh, that's crazy. Okay, that's
to the gynecologist.
I just wasn't paying attention all the way around. But as I started like looking into it and hearing, I'm thinking like, are you freaking crazy?
Yeah.
First of all, like that is just some crazy stuff. Like you seem like a damn bouncer, like a security guard behind. I can't even envision what that looks like in the room. Like, doc, I just want to know, is she a virgin still? Like you're overstepping your boundaries with her as a woman, as a person, period. As far as like, what she's doing or how she's living her life. And then I also wonder like how that's going to mess her up. Right. And then two, like now I hear that she had to disconnect from social media because she has all these people reaching out to her, asking her to be her first. Like that just opened up
so inappropriate.
Yes. And then three, now, he has sons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that
he's been public about, he's been filmed like making light of their boys and like intimate type things.
And I take that very, very personal because we come from a father and he is an amazing dad, not bashing my father at all, but he is a huge, like on his sons, the last name and all. And I really feel very disgusted when I hear fathers that, treat their daughters in that way. And to see that he, that he treats his daughter like that, I was very taken back because I'm a huge T.I. fan. Like I love T.I. in so many ways.
I know a lot of you guys want to say something. This is part of the topic, so we'll say more for the topic. But I think that I just want to say really quick, I'm not mad at T.I. as far as I think what I was talking to Briyanna before the show. I think he has good intentions with this. No, he does. As far as he doesn't know how to communicate, and I think a lot of this is a great example of most men don't know how to communicate with their daughters.
I think he feels entitled to it.
Maybe that's some of it. Yes. Maybe that's some of it. But I also think that it's good intention. As far as like good intentions, meaning he wants to make sure his daughter's safe. Like she's following the right path or whatever. I'm not giving him leeway. I'm just trying to say, like, trying to look at it from his perspective. I'm trying to be devil's advocate. And I'm not saying, like, at least he's in her life. At least he's, like, you know, showing some type of interest. I'm not saying I agree with that. That's why I said this is not the way. There's other ways. And on the show, that's what we're going to talk about. Like, for dads who don't know how to talk to their teenage daughters about things like this, listen to us. We're all going to give you our perspective on it. We're all going to talk about, you know, our own experiences and how each one of us would want to have this type of conversation with our dads. I mean, it's probably not something that's easy, you know what I mean, for either party, but it's something that, you know, it needs to be talked about. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that this was I'm saying, like, at least he communicates with his daughter, what I'm assuming he does. Or he's trying to be in her life in some way, but this is not the right way. So we'll talk about that more. But, you know, I don't want to bash him too much. You know, T.I. is a good person. We all know he's a good, you know, he's learning. I'm sure you know, everybody was raised differently, and, you know, he's learning. He's doing his best. So I'm not going to sit here and bash T.I. either, though. But all right. So that pretty much wraps up tonight's Cheese Man. All right.
That was a good one.
Can I just go in the comment box real quick with Kyrie? He says, I think it's overprotective. And what if she is having sex? What will he do or say?
Right. I think everybody kind of was asking that too. All right. Well, that wraps up Cheese Man. We'll talk more about that in the topic.
Fidelia. Mira, yo tengo una clase de chisme de otro mundo.
No me diga, nena, cuéntame.
All right, so I was telling Briyanna that we play games on here, and tonight's game is Truth or Shot. So you know she's gonna be going first right now with some games. Ready? Maria, serve her that shot.
Hey, oh my God. I think I already gave her the shot.
She's like multiple.
She opened her mouth like, wait, I gotta take another one. Look, oh yeah, I see, because the cup is half empty. Yeah. You know, it's how you look at the cup. It's not half full. It's half
there you go. All right, so we're gonna go first, and actually, so I have a bunch of questions that I wrote down for Truth or Shot. I'm going to let you pick a number 1 through 12.
Okay.
And whatever number you pick, that's the question I'll ask you.
Okay.
You ready?
No.
Come on, Queen Pin. Let's go.
Right.
You got this. All right. Give me pick a number 1 through 12.
5.
All right, Bree. On Queen Pin, the fairy hood mother. Who was the last person you licked?
Ooh,
she thought of somebody already, but
I like how she took a deep breath and then looked down and put her head in her lap.
Licked, though, it's like you start thinking about details.
Anything.
Like, I'm like,
your tongue on a person.
Then you start thinking, like, did I do that? Or did
your tongue touching somebody's body or somebody.
He said when?
A person. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When
was
the
last
time?
No, actually, I said who was the last person. Yeah, you have to say who.
Ooh, she wants to know.
Who?
You want a first and last
who was
name.
the last person your tongue touched? That's pretty much the question. If you don't want to answer it, you can take a shot. She is blushing. She can take a shot. She can take a shot.
She can take that whole.
No, she can take the whole shot. No, at least half of that, because that's a lot.
Empty.
I'm gonna just say Beard Bay.
Beard
Bay.
Let me go on IG. Is that what his
handle?
She's about to see everybody
pull up
you
Beard
follow
Bay.
with a beard.
Who is Beard Bay? Pull him up, Maria. Pull him
We
up
need
on
a whole
IG.
segment called that. Where we discuss random people.
Beard Bay, if you're listening, call in right now. I want to know details.
323-900-0478. Please call in. We want to know who
Right
Beard
now,
Bay
let
is.
us know what that felt like.
And where did she
had
lick
the
you?
Queen tongue on you.
All right, we made her blush enough. All right, Maria, your turn, girl.
Oh, wait.
Your turn. Give me a number. No, you know what? I'm not going to let you pick a number. I'm just going to ask you a question. You ready?
Okay.
This is, would you rather kiss Donald Trump with tongue or lick the bottom of LeBron's sweaty feet after a game?
I had that question already.
No, it was. It's
Was it
different.
different body
Booty.
part?
This time is a foot.
Yes, it's
Would you
different.
lick the sweat off a foot?
I'm going to keep asking you this question until you make out with Donald Trump.
Wait. Can I put him in the shower?
No, it's right after a game.
You have to lick the
Kiss Donald Trump with tongue or lick the bottom of LeBron's sweaty feet after a game.
Fungus.
And you gotta put your tongue right between the toes.
The toe jam.
You gotta crack it. You know.
LeBron about to feel good.
You're nasty.
Yes, honey. He about to.
Oh my goodness. All right, Marty, your turn, girl. You ready?
Never. Right? I never feel ready.
All right, here we go. What's something you've done while drunk that you would never do sober? You can either answer it or you can take a shot. Dun, dun, dun.
I think I would never approach cops the way that I do when I'm drunk.
Oh, please give me an
Wow,
example.
yes.
Let us hear
Like,
this.
I've been in the back of cop cars multiple times because I just don't care. Like, I get very aggressive with them. And I wouldn't normally do that.
Like, what do you say? Give us an example.
I think I just get like really like disgruntled. You know, like when you're just mad at something and you like want to see the manager, but like to a cop, and it's like late night and everyone's fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's like
I want to
that.
see your manager.
I know firsthand. It didn't work. I wasn't able to talk my way out of it.
And I was like,
Like you asked for the manager too.
As soon
yeah,
as I got,
like, bitch, we both in there.
As soon as I got in that back seat, I'm like, oh shit, it's too late. I can't even talk my way out of it.
Nah, they was
I
cool,
tried.
luckily, but
I've been
luckily.
the same way, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'll get out of it.
yeah.
Briyanna, I don't know if you heard the episode, but we've all been in the backseat of a police car.
Not me.
No, I'm
Not
talking
yet.
about the ladies.
What about the front
Don't
seat?
said not yet.
Don't
Bitch,
ask for the
it's
manager.
coming.
Don't ask for the
coming.
manager.
Don't ask for the manager.
And don't tell them you don't have no money.
That don't help.
See your manager.
That was a flashback from Mexico. That's what it was. But
Hell nah.
yeah, don't do that.
don't have no money.
They'll think you're trying to give them money.
Like, it's the truth though.
They'll think you're trying to bribe them.
Yeah, with something else, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, with the money. I was like, well, I don't got no money, y'all. All right, here we go. Myra, you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Which of your siblings would you slap with all your strength to get $1 million?
Oh my gosh. The strongest.
All of them.
Wow!
That's
Girl, you be a rich motherfucker. She'd have a couple million.
I know, because it wouldn't be fair for me to say just one, right? Then the other one would be, then it'll be like,
they all get you mad at
you
different times. Different times as well.
I mean, I'll
Like,
say, look, I'm going to get $1 million. I don't want any of you to feel left out, so I'm going to slap all of you.
and I'll give you all what, 2,000, 3,000.
Am I getting $1 million tax-free, or am I getting taxed?
Tax free, but you gotta hit them hard. You gotta leave the print of your hand on their face.
Girl, I'll punch the shit out of them for $1 million.
Damn, you got a whole fight going on, and we just said a slap.
Damn, that's crazy. She's like kicking
I
her
love
ass.
you guys. I love you guys. Right? But I will.
All right. Well, that wraps up game time. Unless we gotta ask Bree one more question. Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Bree.
All right, Bree. What is your go-to porn?
Will you take a shot?
Woo! Our last guest. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say our last guest. They said BBC.
What is that?
That's what I said. And I watched.
Hey, Kyrie, if you're listening, tell her what BBC means.
Oh, okay. I think I got it.
I think I got it.
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm going to take a shot.
Hey!
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Hey.
I
All right.
I already know what you're
Kyrie
listening to.
said,
That little
big
Kim?
black cock.
No filter.
That's exactly what popped up in my head.
Yep, that's it. That's it for sure. Yeah, so you guys, BBC is
It is what it is.
yeah. It's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Question of the night, Myra, you ready? We're jumping into
Kyrie,
question.
they're talking about
I can't hear myself.
Isn't that crazy?
All right, Myra, what is the question of the night, girl?
All right, guys. The question of the night is, What 5 things could you not live without?
5. Ooh. Like, okay, we were put on a desert island and we can only take 5 things with us.
Or is it an apocalypse and we only get 5 things in general?
No, what 5 things can you not? Don't switch my question around. I said,
What 5 things can you not
said
live
what I
without?
said.
Where are the pow, 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 pow?
She said it's a 5.
they're like, let's just,
Damn.
they're like,
So if I leave that way,
let's find a way to answer this.
Mine came like a gangster with the little Reese's Pieces in her hand. She said, don't switch my answer.
5 things. All right, Maria, you go first.
But
Now, do you see how she always, sometimes I want to go first.
All right. Maria, go first.
You go first.
can they be people or is it
That's
things?
what I'm trying to think.
Repeat the question for them. These ladies.
Not
Apparently they
people,
weren't
right?
listening.
Okay, I'll give you guys. What 5 things can you not
Anything.
live without?
Things.
Go, Myra.
Things.
Go. You go since you look like you already have it
Things.
intact.
I genuinely feel like I don't own anything of possession that I couldn't live without. Like not even my phone. So if I was going to a desert island though, I couldn't live without my phone. Like what else? Weed, a wrap, a lighter. I need that
you
for
need lighter
survival.
for that weed.
And like a lot of water. I can't live without water.
This bitch left her whole fucking family out.
Well, she said things. She didn't say people.
That's what I said.
Things.
I can't pick people.
Things.
Hey, it's things in general. It doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
No, not people though.
Okay.
Hey, don't talk about her list. It's
Yeah.
her list. All right, Maria,
That's
what's
a
your
good
damn
ass
list?
I'm gonna be happy as hell.
That's a good list. That's a good
Thank
list.
you.
Sometimes your family could be crazy, okay?
I'm not gonna
And
give
you
you
don't
my
need to bring them
lighter
with
now.
you.
Watch.
You can leave them over there.
So my thing would be, of course, my daughters.
Oh.
My whole family, and I mean family as in like family and extended family.
No.
That is
No,
more
no,
than
no,
5
no,
things.
no,
That's
no.
it. You capped out.
That's
No,
it.
no,
Yes.
no.
You're
I'm
cheating
talking
the
about
system.
things.
No.
I'm not done.
No.
I'm using fingers.
Well, you lost
don't even know
family.
how
Family
I'm
doesn't
using
count.
it.
Family,
No.
nope. Family doesn't count.
A gun with a lot of
What?
ammo.
A gun?
Because you don't know what's coming up if something happens.
So you should say a loaded gun. You should say a loaded gun.
Oh,
First
no,
of
no,
all,
I need extra shit.
I'm
in
not
case
going with
something
you.
goes down.
I'm staying my ass over
I'm
here.
smoking weed over here.
I'm your
If
family,
I'm
but
in
I'm staying over
survival
here.
mode, if this is surviving, right? Let's say
She
this
never
is-
said nothing
No.
about
No,
surviving.
I said surviving.
Why
You
are
guys
you
are ma-
changing the question?
You guys are making up a whole scenario, like Walking Dead,
the
the
world's about
apocalypse
to
type.
end.
I just said, what 5 things could you not live without?
You're making it like the end of the world.
Someone
I'm about to save all of you guys.
someone who wakes up in the morning
Grab
and
your
reads
kids, you coming
might
too.
say, I can't live without with having a book. I can't live
without.
without water. I can't live without my
Well, if you said
meditating
what
in the
5
morning,
things
like
can you not live without?
whatever they are, whether it's a
what are
certain
they?
Okay,
yeah.
so 5 things that I cannot live without, of course, are my daughters. Damn. Okay, so I have 8 siblings. Does that?
Maria,
Nah, man, you
oh
capped
my
out. Pick-
God.
You have 3
said
daughters.
5
Pick
things.
2 siblings because that's 5.
Seriously.
Oh, damn. I didn't know you were breaking it down like that. Okay, so my daughters.
That's 3.
Damn.
So you got 2 more things. What can't you live without?
My cell phone. And Jesus. God.
Oh, okay.
All right, there you go.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, are
Oh,
you
that was like
done?
a 20-minute answer.
For reals.
Take your drink.
Ooh,
Show
look at that
us
look.
up.
You need to stop. All right, Briyanna, what's yours,
she gonna
girl?
smack
5
you.
things.
Okay. My phone, lip gloss,
Ooh. Okay.
headphones.
Okay. Headphones, really?
Yeah, because if I want to listen to music.
You don't need a headphone. You can just listen to it.
Oh, it's true. Okay, I'm gonna take that off. Okay, my phone, lip gloss, weed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, what else? Water.
Water.
I love water.
I didn't think about that. That is true.
Yeah, because you're thinking about all these people you trying to take on the damn boat with you to kill.
And there's no boat.
You're a fucking zombie.
And they probably wouldn't even named you.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna say edge control.
Oh, damn.
But you gonna need a
bringing
toothbrush,
no
girl,
razor
because
with us.
you're gonna use the edge control.
I'm gonna use my finger.
Okay, there you go.
We didn't bring no detergent or nothing.
Cochinas, sucias.
Fucking chonies.
Ay, Dios mío.
Can't live without underwear.
I'm done with y'all. I'm
Jackie.
done.
Well, Kyrie says he can't live without his phone.
Okay, phone. What if you have no service or no Wi-Fi? Your phone is useless.
Turn the Wi-Fi off. And then okay, hold on. You have those type of people that will keep busy with some damn games.
I will. I sure will. Mm-hmm.
So you don't need no service for that.
I don't. Mm-mm. I'll entertain myself with selfie videos,
You
selfie
got about
movies.
5,000 pictures in
I'll
there.
make
You'll
a
start
movie.
looking.
Yes.
I'll make a movie on my phone and I'll
Jackie
watch
will
that shit
come
over.
back and she'd have like videos for days for ladies'
Sequels,
night.
like a whole telenovela series.
Dang, I honestly don't know. I guess vibrator on there for sure.
Oh my! I didn't even
Yeah,
think
y'all
about
forgot the vibrator.
Fucking A.
Y'all forgot the vibrator because if I can't take a dude, I'm taking that vibrator. Maria got her hand up if I come preaching. She said, "Amen."
Oh my god.
You busy trying to take siblings?
Yeah.
Maria, what they gonna do for you?
I'm thinking about the shower head. That's what I'm thinking
Shower
about.
head,
The shower
no.
The shower, which you didn't take water. You didn't even take water. So
You're just taking people with you,
Brianna's coming with water, so we
but she's not going with
she
you.
is not sharing the water.
Are we not coming
Sharing
together?
the water with you.
I thought we all gonna put.
You gonna use it all up with the shower head?
I got Jesus.
Nah, girl, you gonna take all her water trying to use that shower head.
Oh my god, vibrator, my iPhone for my porn, hashtag BBC, and then
Damn, you are
Wow.
so selfish.
unlimited
She could pass it around.
unlimited alcohol,
Jesus.
Unlimited.
like Jackie's coming with me.
We're gonna get hangovers.
I'm bringing some
Bring
plastic
Pedialyte.
covering.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So what is that? Vibrator, my
BBC.
phone for the the internet, the porn,
Unlimited.
alcohol.
Why would you not
Open
just
bar.
take a man instead of taking BBC?
Because
they got emotions.
Because the question was things. So when I hear things, I don't hear people. So I think things, like actual things. So those are three.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a big thing.
Well, that's why I got the vibrator in case I can't take people.
Now you can be MIA the whole damn time.
I'll bring water for sure to stay hydrated, And what is the fifth thing that I cannot live with?
What said a charger for that phone.
Oh, for that vibrator.
Hey, I was about to say the
Extra
phone,
battery.
girl. She gonna be BBC. She need a charger for the damn dildo.
Oh yeah, those great answers. Great answers.
Wait, what about Myra?
I'm giving myself an applause for my 5 answers. Leave me alone. All right, Myra, what are your
For her
5?
vibrator, because that's all that really
Dude,
matters.
Hey, y'all really want to hang
That
out?
and the BBC.
So, you guys made it seem like we're gonna be stuck in a desert without any resources.
That's what I thought.
I'm
I
just
thought
saying,
Calvin
okay,
with Bliblicks was coming.
I looked at it like, okay, you wake up in the morning, and what are 5 things that you usually use the most that you don't think you can go your day without?
Yeah, I didn't think
okay,
about that.
Well, you got in your own head with that
Yeah,
zombie apocalypse.
yeah, and
Yes,
she
I thought the
started
world
it.
was
She's like,
coming in.
"Am
We
I
all-
in a Mari's like, am I in a desert? Am
all
I?
calling
What's
each
the
other.
scenario?" No, I would say my car, my wallet, water. I can live without my phone. I'd probably be happier without my phone.
How would you get in contact with your kids?
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need
but
your
I'll
phone.
bring my phone with me because I don't leave the house without it. So my car, my wallet, my phone, water, and my shoes.
Shoes.
I don't know.
Said last minute.
I'm just saying, you never know. I keep them by the front door. Earthquake, you know what I mean? You never not walking out there barefoot like that.
I will. I don't care. All right. Well, that was a good
I
one,
don't know.
Myra.
I just
I
thought
like
about
that.
Everyone had something different.
That was a good one. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I
It's
mean,
everybody
I
for
guess-
themselves.
I got my good. I'm good.
But if we all going camping, I'm hanging with Jackie and
I'm not
Marty.
going.
Yeah. Now, if I said, okay, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere, with no resources, everybody bring 5 things, and that's different.
Then we
I'm
gotta
not-
have a
And
group plan.
we're all
I'm not
stuck
sharing
together.
Go to Costco.
I'm not sharing my
I
vibrator
ain't
with
want
you.
nobody wants your
What are you
vibrator.
talking about?
Oh my
so
gosh,
many
yes.
fucking levels.
Yes, that's true. That would yeah.
Fuck. Well, you said you want
That's
to come.
it's survival, bitch.
Oh my god.
But there's germs.
You said you were coming with me, so I don't know what you're trying to take from mine.
All the alcohol. She's
Oh,
trying to get
okay.
alcohol.
All right. Just making. I'm just checking.
I love the way you
I'm
think, my
just
friend.
checking.
I
Damn.
get it. I
You guys
get
gotta
it.
watch that show,
And
Naked and
I
Afraid.
might be like, Jackie, give me the section 2 of BBC.
Section 2.
It's on your phone. It's internet
Give me the
porn.
second
We don't have no
season.
Wi-Fi, remember?
You don't need to be a member. It's on the website. It's free.
Oh my
the end
god.
of the world. It's everything's free.
Oh dear Lord, Jesus.
Kyrie says he has data, so all that Wi-Fi shit is blown out.
He's got unlimited
Right, me
data.
too. I have the grandfather plan too, Kyrie,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm good.
Shout out.
Yeah, for sure. You know what happens though once you reach your limit? They say they purposely
Slows down.
slow you down.
But honestly, it's not that much.
It's not, but still, like, don't be slowing my shit down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a great question. Good job, Myra. That was awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into tonight's topic, which everybody's been waiting for. When did everybody lose their virginity? I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
We actually
But
talked
even
about that.
Even though that's taboo, that's what we're gonna get into.
Yeah.
It's like, why is that even a thing?
Yeah, why is that even a thing? Exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our topic of the night, which is we got some Madonna over here. Hold on, where did I put my thing?
Is virginity overrated, guys?
There you go. Is virginity overrated? And what's the appropriate age to talk to your kids about the sex talk? So before we start with the whole sex talk with their kids, let's go ahead and jump into T.I. Briyanna, I know you just talked about this on your show last night about T.I. Tell us what you think as far as your perspective on this whole situation with T.I. and his daughter.
I would say the positive from it is that he's actually active in his child's life enough to be able to want to be a part of that. The negative is that I think he's kind of controlling. I was talking about that. I think that's the control thing that he has, and being a fan of him and seeing how he just acts in his regular life and seeing how he treats his wife and all that. I'm like, okay, so that's control.
Yeah.
He just wants to be the man. And
Right.
everything his way. So yeah.
That's true. Marty, what about you?
I would agree, and then kind of like add on or like push the fact that like we give him that pass low key. I know there's a lot of like stuff happening.
We do.
On the
I'm so
internet,
glad you
but
said that.
People are giving him a pass, and we're still having the discussion of why it might be okay when in reality it's not acceptable on so many different levels. But a main one is like how he even like what part of a father thinks that that's okay to do, and it's the part of them that feel entitled to women's body, the part of them that really feel like me even knowing that she's a virgin fucking matters, which it fucking doesn't. Her being a virgin does not minimize her worth as a woman or her ambitions or her potential. So what the fuck does it matter? If you're not going to do that to your sons and go with them to figure out if they've had sex or talk to them about sex or whatever, it's like, what is your purpose? What the fuck were you doing on that podcast, even bringing it up?
Are you a fan of T.I.?
I would say that I do like his music. Yeah. I
Okay.
do like his music, and I do like what he does for the culture in the sense that like he is attempting to do a lot of positive things. The way he even talks, like he really is a dope person. So it's shocking that like somebody that always portrays this like very liberal mindset and like this very like activist mindset that like you would think that even talking about your daughter's hymen was acceptable.
Right.
Like, where did you go? Like, did you drink too much that day? Because I don't feel like that's even normal to mention.
Right. No, I agree with you on that. Myra, what about you?
I don't necessarily think his intentions were bad. But I agree. I think it's him kind of overstepping his boundaries. And the fact that he aired it, I think his daughter is comfortable. Maybe they have a relationship, and she's comfortable enough sharing that with him and taking him to her gyno appointments. I think he sort of crossed the line because she's 18. That's probably embarrassing to her now, too, that he's airing it out. And she's giving him that trust and that comfort to join her. I would kind of feel like, damn, Dad, you crossed the line. Like, I don't want you coming to any of my stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's nice that he's involved, but I feel that the way he put it out there makes it seem very
It makes it seem nonchalant when it's
very
not.
nonchalant. It's her body. She's allowing you. You know what I mean? She's allowing you to come to her. Or maybe she's not. Maybe he's forcing himself on her and making her do all this stuff. You know, like, hey, posted a gyno appointment at 9:30. You know, that kind of
Like
stuff.
issue
So
or whatever. I
mean,
agree.
I don't know. I felt like it was just a little overstepping. I mean, and even more so embarrassing for her now that he's putting it out there. If she's actually comfortable letting him go to those appointments with her.
Yeah, I think I agree with Briyanna as far as his intentions. I don't think, or you two, and were necessarily. I don't think his intentions were to embarrass his daughter, to put her business out there. I just think that maybe he, you know, they're celebrities. You know, they had cameras in their house. They had them following. So he's, I guess, gotten used to oversharing, like, his personal life with, you know, his fans. Like I said, this was not the right way to do it. I understand that he's trying to be in his daughter's life, but he also has sons. And he never once, he's never once put their information out there like that. And like you had said earlier, Madi, what if, or no, actually it was Kyrie, sorry. What if she did have sex, or what if she does have sex? What does that mean to T.I.? What's going to happen to her if, you know, she has sex? You know, at the end of the day, we as society put so much pressure on the whole word virgin, and we make it mostly about women when it comes to virgin, because virgin, you know, it can be.
We make it a positive thing. So I think that's the distinction, is that when men are virgin, we laugh at it. They get like, oh, you're a virgin, bro. Like, there's that whole like culture that exists.
Yes.
But for women, it's like, oh, she's a virgin. Like, okay, like it might make her more enticing. It might make her more pure. So like, there's such a big distinction between the way virgin is used for men and for women, and that's what the fuck this is all about. Because
so the word virgin is loaded with all types of myths and cultural baggage, making it rather difficult to define. I'm reading something that I found on the internet and want you guys to hear. It may seem obvious that someone who's never had sex is a virgin, but how do we define sex if sex only includes heterosexual? You know, the vaginal penetrative intercourse, we're leaving a lot of people out. And the whole penetration by penis has to do with breaking the hymen and bleeding, except not everyone breaks the hymen and not everyone bleeds. Real quick question, this might be TMI, you don't have to share it, but how many of you guys bled on your first time? You bled, Mara? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say it?
Goddamn.
You raised your hand.
No, I didn't. That was her.
I'm going to say I didn't. But I think I also rode horse. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
I was riding horses a lot when I was younger. We used to go every summer to Mexico.
Maria's like, you were?
Yeah, no, she would.
When?
Every summer.
I'm thinking about a different type of horse. I was like, girl,
Ensenadas. No, you're so horrible. No, we used to go to Ensenada, and we used to go ride horses all the time. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's what it was. I played sports. So yeah, that
you
whole.
were also very flexible, sister.
I wasn't. No,
like
that
with doing the.
I cannot do the splits.
Straddling?
That's Anna.
While playing softball.
That was Anna, not me. I cannot do the splits. Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
I saw you catch a ball and do splits as you were
all
trying
right,
to
you
get
tell the
It was
fellas
an
out there I
accident,
can do the splits.
Okay, you
Let
tell
them
them.
know.
She could do the splits.
Add that to the resume.
Oh, also, did you guys know that the root of the word virgin is the Latin word virgo, which means young woman? While both men and women can be virgins, the word points to the idea that the issues of virginity are always about women. So my thing about that is, like, virginity is... What do we all think? You know, we're growing up, that virginity was this like sacred thing that, you know, you had to not, you know, give it away to anybody. And I mean, you can still have that thought.
I was gonna say, and
It's a social
that's
construct.
what it should be, though.
Yeah,
You
but
can't just give your virginity to anybody.
But it's like, what the fuck is a virginity? Because it has nothing to do
Exactly.
with the hymen. Because your hymen, my hymen, I think
Well,
broke
aside from that,
during sports. So
Right.
it's like, was I not a virgin anymore?
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so
Or
as soon
was it penetration?
as soon as I was
it,
riding that
you know?
horse, I'm sure, because I felt I was dragged by a horse. My shit probably like flew. My hymen flew with the horse. I was out of there. You know what I mean? So, and that happened when I was probably like 13 years old, 14 years old. Like, literally, my parents, you know, there was a lot of us, so we'd share horses. My brother's on the back of the horse. He pinched the horse's ass. The horse kicked his back feet up. My brother flew, and I had put the rope around my hand. So that horse dragged me for like a cool minute. I had the guys over there running. My mom thought the horse was gonna like step on me, but like literally, I know, because I was jumping on that thing like hard. That thing was sprinting. That horse was sprinting. So my ass was like jumping up and down. I know my hymen broke that day because that hurt. Like my legs were like so swollen after that, and then I was dragged by a horse. Luckily I was on the beach, so it was on the sand, but still, like I was dragged.
I broke mine a different way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke mine because I was at a park, and I think I was probably like 7 or 8 or something. And like the little bars that you climb up, something at like a little playground, I fell in it between my legs, and
you
yeah,
bled?
it was over. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when I was about 6, maybe like 8 or 9. I was riding a bike and I didn't brake. And my whole front hit that little pole that's by the steering wheel.
Yes.
I was so scared. I went and ran and told my mom, and I think by then I knew about virginity, and she was telling me, so I was like, oh my God, did something happen to me? But I didn't bleed, but it hurt so bad, and I was so freaked out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's so many ways. It sucks that we are so vulnerable to certain things with our body when men really aren't.
Exactly. And we make virginity all about the women. Like the women has to be pure and clean. So like the whole thing about losing your virginity, and if you're not a virgin when you get married, you're like, oh, you're used up, and it makes you it shouldn't define you as a person. It's just an act of like something that you wanted to do, and you should do it when you want to do it, right? So I understand, Maria. I'm not trying to put anybody down as far as religion, as far as your beliefs, but at the end of the day, I feel like we put too much pressure on the whole thing about virginity, as far as like, on, especially for women. It's too much pressure. And at the end of the day, it's just a freaking like act that, but my thing is, for the talk, you need to let them know you do this for the right reason with the right person who you feel comfortable and you trust, because you can wait till marriage and your husband can end up being an asshole or a fucking, you don't know who you end up marrying, because you that watch the show, I don't know who I married, whatever. Like you can marry a fucking psychopath, and you waited your whole life to be with this person, and you really didn't know them, but you just had sex with them because you're married now. Like, at the end of the day, you need to do what's right for your body. This is my opinion. I'm not trying to put that on anybody, and I'm not trying to take away from anybody's religion or culture or anything, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's just too much pressure on especially for women, young girls, and even growing up, it's like, it's just like you're looked at in a certain way if you even think about it or talk about it or ask questions about sex.
Well, for me, it's not about the hymen, right? For me, it's more like who they choose for their first partner, because for me, I don't know about you girls, but for me, my first partner was, my first love. Like it was a person that I really, really,
I was
really
like thumbs down.
was very well connected with, and I really loved this person for a long period of time. So I want to make sure that whoever they choose as their first partner, the person that they choose is worth them, giving up their body to, is the right person at that time. I know that it's going to happen before marriage. I'm not stupid to that fact, but I do want to make sure that they understand that your first does take like a huge thing out of your heart.
That does put a little bit of pressure on them, because what if they don't? What if they lose their virginity to somebody that they weren't in love with? Then now, now are they leaving? Are they letting you?
Their expectation
letting you down because of that,
right?
And I mean, it is some form of pressure.
It's not about me. Like I have a really good, connection with my daughters, but I make sure that I let them know that you're first. Most of the time, I mean, I don't know about you girls, but with me, your first is somebody that you feel connected to, because that's how I felt about my virginity. I didn't give it up to just anybody. I felt like, okay, I really care for you. I have a connection with you. I love you. And I'm going to give you something that is really special to me. So I was really connected with this person for a long time. So when my conversation comes, it comes out of what I went through it with giving up my virginity. And I understand that they might give it up, whenever they decide to give it up, because I can't be there and tell them yes or no, as long as, it's at the appropriate age. But I want to make sure that they are feeling some type of connection. And I'm hoping, the motherly person in me, I'm hoping it's not just, a one night stand.
Yeah, but they hold some sort of
value
to it.
Here I come with my story.
Come to me.
I think you had me with that the one night stand thing, though. By the way, I think coming from somebody who purposely chose not to have a quote unquote deep love for the person that I was with that time. And like, this person doesn't even know because it was mine. It's me. It's my choice.
I'm with you, Maddie.
So I do understand that point of view, and that like, yeah, everyone has their own opinion and their own values, and they have the right to find whatever it is they seek. I just feel like as a society, as a majority, we still value a woman waiting, and then we put all this idealistic expectations on quote unquote virginity when it's like, there is no difference, and I say this to like young women out there, there's no difference from you choosing your first time to you choosing your second, your third, your fifth, your 27th.
Right.
And it's like every time should involve you being in full consent, being in full like swing, because sometimes it's like you can build a love and connection with someone and ultimately be about to do it and decide like, you know what, I don't want to give you my body whether it's my first time or not.
That's what I'm saying right there.
Yeah.
It
But,
is
okay.
when you are ready and when you want to give it up. When
I
I
just
was
mean it's
ready,
not no big
that's
thing.
when. Well, for me, it was.
Why do you think that
Because
we have
my
made? Why do you think that we have made virginity such a big deal, especially for women? Because virginity is not a big deal. Like when you think of virginity, you don't think of men. You think of women.
No, but see, I think I really do believe that this is in each individual person and what they feel inside. For me, my virginity was a big thing because in my days, girls were having sex back to back. Girls used to, I had a lot of acne, and my friends used to come and tell me, girl, if you had that D, that face would not be looking like that. I'm telling you. And, you know, girls are, and guys like, oh, let me just, yes, the pressure is real.
So especially for growing up, there was a lot of pressure because everyone around me was having sex and I felt left out.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I wonder about the cultural
I didn't feel
aspect
left
of that.
out.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
feel left out. I
felt like
I wasn't ready.
Me too. I felt like I wasn't ready, but I also felt like, damn, they're making it seem like I feel stupid because I'm not having sex and they all are. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you guys just having sex?
And that's
with
very
anybody?
real too.
Yeah, and so and I think it happens, and I think some people who lose their virginity don't even think about it and do it just because maybe other people around them are doing.
Right.
And me having the conversation with my kids and my older son would be to don't follow suit. Don't do things because other people are doing it. Don't do it. Make sure that you're ready and you want to do it, and it's something that makes you feel good. But also wait until you're ready. Don't do something. I always say it like, you're valuable. Value yourself. Value your body. Like, people should be privileged to have you. Don't just give yourself away. And that's not just his virginity or whatever. It's just overall. You know what I mean? They should be privileged to have your gift. I think everyone has a gift, and you're sharing it with people every time that you meet someone.
Say it again,
so
Maya.
just value yourself. You don't have to, and that's the same conversation I'm going to have with him about sex.
Madi, you got something to say?
I would say yes, 100% to that. But in return, I think my pushback would be that we continue to put this narrative of like, value yourself, love yourself, value. And it's like, I don't devalue myself
Just
when I
because you
choose
have
to give
sex.
things away that are mine. And it's like, that's, I think, the stigma that still sticks with virginity.
I agree with you 100%.
You keep telling me to love myself and care about myself. It's like, what the fuck? I do love myself, and I chose to have sex.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm not saying
when
that.
you choose,
It's the agency.
your choice.
But maybe
But
I do
this
choose
is
to
my
like
choice. If I had a choice I chose my choice.
So,
to
question
have
for
sex
you:
at
you have
21.
daughters, all daughters. What if one of them decides to have sex at the age of 16, 17?
And
that's
I think
not
about that all the
listen.
time.
I know. Listen, that's not something that you did. You personally, Crazy Maria, did not have the mindset or even thought they were ready at that age and waited for whatever age you decided
We were
to do
just
it.
having this conversation.
No, I
today.
know, but what I'm saying is, because I want to do it on air, is like, what if your daughter said at the age of 16, 17, like T.I.'s daughter, like what if she did have sex at 17? Because at that moment, she felt that she was ready, and she was ready to connect with the person that she decided to connect with in that type of form. That should not give her the automatic, because she's 16 or 17, the whole like slut
it
should not
title
at all
or be felt.
But I do feel that at a certain age, girls feel that they need a boyfriend. And I have a 13-year-old right now.
There's women
And
in our 30s that feel that they need to be married
Jackie,
right
but
now.
we're talking about 16.
I know, but I'm just
Okay,
saying that's a thing in all women's
You asked
mind.
me a question, so I'm gonna
Okay,
tell
go
you.
ahead.
So my 13-year-old feels that she needs to have a boyfriend right now, and my college student in high school, I would say she was maybe about 15, 16, her friends were having sex, and she felt like she wanted to feel loved. And so I think that sometimes young girls, and I don't know about boys because I'm not a boy, but young girls, we want to feel love. We want to feel what our friends have. We see our friends with their booze. We see our friends, having sex. We want to kind of understand what that feels like. So yes, I get it. And yes, some on her dad's side did have kids at a young age, 16, 15. Mm-hmm. And you just have to talk to them. Baby, it all comes at the right age. So, I understand that you want this right now.
I'm not saying that I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, there's going to be people that think that they're ready. Because you're saying, your whole...
So I would, if you're asking me as a mother, I would make it in my power.
No, listen. I'm not asking you as a mother. I'm following your statement. Your statement said you should do it when you think that you're ready. And there's girls that think at the age of 16 that they think they're ready.
I agree with
that. I'm not saying that I'm like gun for it, or I'm saying that I'm against it. At the end of the day, everybody's in charge of their own body and knows their body, right? So that's why I was talking to you about that. So Briyanna, what about you? What do you feel about like these young girls who think that, they're ready to have sex? Or even if not, like at the end of the day, like what do you feel about that type of mentality as far as virginity?
Well, first I would say my mom, she made it seem like it was something that was sacred. Like you say, like she was like, oh, you need to save it. You gonna feel so dirty afterwards, telling me this whole story about how she had a shower afterwards. And me personally, I didn't think of it in that way.
Wait, your mom told you about her first time?
Yeah.
How old were you when she told you about her first time?
Oh, I had to be like 14.
Really?
She told you about her first time, or just told you about sex?
She told me about sex, but then she did tell me about her first time though, like not in detail, but just like how she felt afterwards.
And it went with the conversation.
Yeah, and it went with the I just felt dirty and I felt like this, and so, but it didn't like put any fear in me. It was just like I was like, okay, well. But when I lost my virginity, I didn't think too hard about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I was actually really attracted to the person that I lost my virginity to. I was super infatuated. Same. I was super lustful.
I love that.
And I really liked him. And when it was done, I didn't regret it. I didn't.
Question: did you tell the person that you lost your virginity to that you were a virgin?
He didn't know I was a virgin until after.
So, until after you ended up telling him. So the person that I lost my virginity to, I never told them, and still to this day they don't know that. Because I feel like what Mari said, like it's my body. I decided to do something, and
I hate that it carries a weight.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell him because I hate that it's an ego.
Yeah,
boost.
He didn't know until way years later. He was like,
and
you were a virgin? And
I thought about telling him later. Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because I was like, should I tell them now? Like probably like 5 years later. Mm-hmm. And till this day, I've never told them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're social media friends. We don't hang out or talk or anything. They don't live in the country, but at the end of the day, like I'm happy with my decision. They moved out. They're U.S. citizens.
You're not gonna tell
what
them.
the hell?
Give us all the details, girl.
I mean, the social security number.
You know what? You're right because
at the end, it starts with an A. It ends with an underscore.
The end of the day, I shouldn't say too much because if people who know me and know them, they'll know who I'm talking about. But so I won't say too much. But
slide in his DMs. Ooh, you took mysterious Jax.
But at the end of the day, I just felt like that was, like Mari said, it was something that I decided to do, that I wanted to do, and I didn't feel like I needed to tell them. Like, I made the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it's overrated.
It is.
It is completely overrated.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that really quick, Mara. Because at the end of the day, let's say we had a virgin, a male and female, in the room right now. And they said, hey, ladies, what advice would you give us? I'm a virgin and I'm thinking about having sex. What advice can you give me? Male or female, doesn't matter. Let's go around the room and let's listen, because let's say there's people listening to our show that are virgins, and they can be teenagers, they can be in their 20s, they can be in their 30s. It doesn't matter for whatever reason. They're virgins and they want to know. What advice would you give them? Who wants to start first?
I would
Myra?
say be completely proud of the position that you're in and what you're doing and how long you've decided and why you decided. Stick with it, and you've done it for so long, so choose. I mean, whatever you want to do it. There's nothing that we can tell you because no one really gave us advice on our first time. We did it.
That's exactly why we're giving advice.
We did it because we wanted to.
Right.
I mean, I can even tell. I mean, I was young, but actually, my mom talked to me about my first time and all this other stuff and make sure. Yeah, she used to talk to us all the time about sex and made us kind of, basically she didn't tell us, oh, don't have sex, but make sure that you know what you're doing. And
is that what you would give advice to
yourself.
other virgin for? Like, take care of yourself, know what you're doing.
I don't know. I really wouldn't know what to tell a grown ass person about what to do for their first time.
Yeah, let's say they were in their late 20s and they've never had sex. Not that they're waiting for marriage, but because of the pressure and the whole idea of what virginity carries, they just decided not to. And now that they're like, you know what? Why am I waiting? Like, I'm going to just do it. What advice could you give this person?
I don't know.
I know.
I hope it's
worth
I hope
it.
you enjoy
No,
it.
okay, I'll help you guys out. How about this? If you've never had sex, well, I hope that you've had not I hope that, but if you haven't already done other things like foreplay, like finger bang, or like
have.
They probably have. You're right.
I've heard of people that are virgins for a long time that have done almost everything except penetrate.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah, and that was my thinking too. I thought that as long as the penis didn't go inside the vagina, you were still a virgin.
Anal, does that count?
That's what I was about
That's
to
what
say.
I'm saying. Oral. So like, there's so many different
Might
things
as well
of like
fucking do
sex,
vaginal.
right?
So left
But to
out.
me, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me out there, but like for a long time, I thought as long as the penis does not enter the vagina,
that's what the
you're
Bible
still
says.
a virgin.
Yeah.
Like you can still do other things, right? And so that's also
I feel
that's
like-
also another like.
I feel like that takes
That's how they
away
manipulate.
from
That's how they
that
that
manipulate
takes
you.
away from the virginity, in my opinion, because
Yeah, it's
kinda
still a
takes-
form of sex.
It's still a form of sex. It
Yeah,
kinda takes
oral
away from it.
sex, anal sex.
But you can admit that somebody that's only done oral is not the same thing as somebody that's done vaginal.
You're right. But
You
it's
know?
Yeah.
different forms. Yeah, for sure. So literally, okay, so they're about to have sex, whatever. Where was I going with this story?
Oh,
Like, what is our advice for them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
Somebody else
Okay.
have advice? 'Cause
Yeah, I do.
anything.
Really quick. So if it's your first time, definitely get in the mood. Definitely make sure it's somebody that you're comfortable around. If it's your first time, I just bring lube just in case. But the wetter you are, the more pleasurable it'll be for both of you guys. So make sure he does foreplay or he or she does foreplay on you, and it'll be more enjoyable. Because if it's, this is somebody who's a virgin who's never had sex. Maria, don't look at me like that, like I'm crazy. Like I'm giving. If somebody was sitting here and they're a virgin, this is the advice that I'd give them.
Yeah.
Make sure you're nice and moist and wet down there for sure. Like. Is that too much? Like I'm being honest. I'm being 100%.
Be honest.
Why are you looking at me like
I'm
that?
just thinking, is
then?
Alexis listening?
If my niece is listening, like I want you to be ready and I want you to be comfortable. But at the end of the day, like this is real shit. Like you know what I mean? Like you got to make sure you're moist down there. Because
I get it. I guess just for me as a mother, Alexis, I know as she's 19, her second year in college, and it just like it scares me.
What? Okay, what
Why does it
scares
scare
you?
For her to get her heart broken like that.
Oh, that's
What
I
is
take
sex?
advantage of her.
Okay, but if you're talking to
Take
her,
advantage of
I
her.
do. Not in that.
No,
way.
I know.
what way you're talking
No, I
about.
mean, like, I checked the
mean-
box. Like, I understand what you mean by that.
mean,
Not
like,
that,
in
like,
a-
go do it.
No. Not in that way. I mean,
Yeah.
like in a worse, like in a in a more worse way, like play her or something like that.
well, that's
Nobody
why.
wants to see their kid be like hurt.
Obviously, but that's different. That's like heartbroken. Like we were just talking. I went to go visit Myra, and I picked up her daughter, and then we all went to go have dinner, whatever. And I asked her son, and I asked him, what did I ask him again? I forgot. That I was like, have you ever? I think something about with the relationship. Something like, do you have a girlfriend? And then
Yes, about having a girlfriend.
first kiss.
His first kiss, yeah.
And I was like, have you had your, because we were talking and stuff. I was like, have you had your first kiss already? You know, I'm Auntie Jackie over there with them. It's so funny because her daughter called me Mysterious Jax. I was like, what? The Mysterious Jax over here. But I asked him, I was like, have you had your first kiss already? And he right away told me, no. And then Myra and his sister both said, you're lying. Yes, you have. And his first kiss, like, unfortunately broke his heart. And that's like you said, a mother's fear. Like, you don't want to see your kid's heart broken and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like you can't protect him from everything.
It's a learning experience.
Heartbreaks are going to happen. And his happened as the age of what? That was
11.
6th grade.
He was 11.
Yeah.
It was this year, early this year.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
he literally was heartbroken, Maria. So heartbreak is going to happen. You can't protect him from that.
He cried.
Yeah, he did. And it's so sweet. He's such a sweet kid. I know. He's such a sweet kid. But I love that. And we didn't embarrass him for crying. Like, it's just like an emotion, just like happiness, just like laughter, just like anger.
It was funny. He was like, I did. Yeah, I did.
I did. I cried.
Man. He was like, it just sucked. I was like, oh my God. I mean, he was just really comfortable talking to us about it.
And I love that. And the fact that that's where it needs to start too. To going into our next topic is like, when is appropriate age to have the sex talk with your child? So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so, you know, Maria and Myra are the only ones that have kids at the moment that I know, right, Bree? You don't have kids? Okay. Okay. I don't have kids either. Neither does Money. But I know, like, they're like my nieces, and I consider Myra's kids my nieces and nephew. I'm going to be very honest with them. Maybe it's because they're not my kids, but I'm very open with that, and I make them feel comfortable. Some of the advice that I could give you guys, even if you're parents, I mean, I'm coming from the Thea perspective, I don't judge them. When they tell me something, I don't react. I don't make a face. I don't be like, you did a what? I don't do that. I just said, okay, and how did that make you feel? And I'll ask them follow-up questions to make them feel comfortable enough that they can keep sharing with me. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of what I wish that I had. Somebody that would listen to me without judging me and just give me good advice. And that's that person that I'm trying to be for everybody in my life. Even, you know, my peers, even my people that are my age and people that are younger. I'm never one to judge because I have, you know, they always say when you point that finger, you got 3 pointing right back at you. So I'm not one to judge. I've made my mistakes. I've done, you know, things, but I wish I would have had somebody in my life that would allowed me to ask them whatever and answered honestly without judging. And a lot of times these kids, they have questions and they're getting their answers from their friends, from their peers who don't have the correct answers, or social media. Yeah. So why don't, you know, you talk to them and you get them from your perspective and what you've learned and talk to them honestly and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to give the advice to people with kids or people who have kids in their life. Like, don't judge them. They have questions. Just imagine and remember when you were their age, what did you think of, like, how your first kiss was going to be, how your first, you know, time that you're going to have sex with. If you had people in your life that you could ask these questions, I'm sure your first time would probably be different, or your mindset would be different, or expectations or anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, Briyanna, when you were young, did you have somebody that you can talk to and ask anything to?
Actually, no. Sex was introduced to me kind of weird. My mom, I guess when it was like a thought, she came in my room and randomly and just threw condoms on my bed.
What?
That was her way of introducing. I was like 15.
How did you feel when she did that?
I felt away because I felt like, what does this mean? Like she was insinuating that I was already having sex. Yes. And I was like, oh, this is not the way to do it. And so after that I was afraid to say anything or ask her about anything. I mean, even when I told her one time I wanted to start wearing tampons because I wasn't comfortable wearing pads. I didn't want to sit in my blood all day. So I was scared to even say. She was like, her reaction was like, so you having sex? Like, why you want to wear it?
So
you know,
she
it
asked
wasn't
you that?
like, yeah, but it wasn't like, oh, well, you know, if you wear it, you know, it was just, it wasn't approached the way it should have been to me. Right. So I was always afraid to say, and I had sex anyway, but didn't know anything about it. Right. And had to learn on my own. So,
how would you have wanted your mom to talk to you about sex? Because it's already an awkward, taboo topic. So how would it have been less awkward or, comfortable for you to talk to your parent about? How do you plan to talk to your child about this topic?
Good question.
I would approach it in a different way. I mean, because growing up in this generation now, it's just different. Everything is just so different.
Yes.
So I would already assume that they're probably watching porn. They're probably finger banging. They're probably doing all that
because of social media.
Because of social media.
But
Whoa, because I know
assume-
Gabrielle Union wrote in her book that she was like, what is it called? Dry humping?
Yeah.
At a young age. And I can relate to her because I was pretty young when I started dry humping. So it's not just social media.
Well, yeah.
It's what your body is feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, but dry humping is different from watching porn. Like, to be honest, you're
I wasn't watching porn at the same time.
Watching,
true, you're right.
My
penis
sister.
going into a girl's vagina and then licking and sucking and all that shit that is not dry humping.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, what were you going to say, Myra?
I would say, should you assume, though, or should we assume just because of social media? Because social media wasn't around when we were growing up, but your mom automatically assumed that you were having sex at a certain
I would say
age.
just because of not even maybe my kid isn't, but at the same time, I know it's other kids out there that is.
It's
They
like
go to
easily
public, they go to
accessible.
school, they around people. They see it.
absolutely.
So I would think like they at least know, like you at least know,
Right,
You've
but we're
seen
talking about
something.
social media because phones were, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but phones were not phones back when I was a kid. We had pagers, and if you had a phone, it was because you were an actual business person, right? So phones now for like my 13-year-old and 19-year-old and, my kids, like, it's so easy unless you put parental guidance on there for them to like really look at social media. And then when they're at school,
they can
their
use
friends, when they're at school, their friends don't have that on there. So they go on ahead and do what they want on there, and then they get to see it. So you really do have to have this conversation way before we had to have the conversation.
Yep.
Were you going to say something?
No.
No, okay. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I got everybody in there. I mean, okay, so what advice would you give to parents who are about to have this talk with their child? And there's two of us here that are parents already. What advice?
Was the question?
Like, what advice would you give? Like, and then Briyanna and Madi and myself, like, what advice would you give being the recipient of that? Like, giving advice to the parents, like, how to approach it. Like, what advice would you give to parents, that want to talk to their kid about sex? How would you want to be approached? Think of that time when you were a teenager. You have tons of questions. You have all these assumptions of how, sex is, or your first kiss, or having a boyfriend and what comes with that. At the end of the day, like in high school, a lot of the boys, it's for them, like losing their virginity is more like a competition. Yeah. Like, you're still a virgin? Like, I lost that like when I was 13 or 14. Right. I hooked up, and I've met a lot of men who've hooked up with older girls.
Yeah.
A lot of guys tell me at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, they hooked up with girls who were like 16, 17, 18 years old hooking up. And I'm like, and I'd be confused. I'm like, wait, you were 14 when you hooked up with a 19-year-old? And I'm thinking, like, what was this 19-year-old girl thinking?
Or why did you not think that that's like a perfect time to see a therapist? Like, that does not sound
at
cool.
that age, they, when you're a boy, you think it's like, oh my God, this older girl likes me. So they don't think that. But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, we have to talk to boys as well. Like, it's not normal for you as a 14-year-old to be hooking up with a 19-year-old girl. It's not normal.
In the way that it wouldn't be for like a 14-year-old girl
and
to be
she
with.
probably has some issues. There's probably reasons why she's doing that, but that's another story. But at the end of the day, I think the best way to approach it is be honest. Like, so
Be honest, definitely.
Maria's second child, she has a lot of questions, and I really appreciate that she comes to us and she's comfortable enough, and that makes me feel good, because it's like, okay, she trusts us. She feels we've made her feel comfortable enough where she can ask all of these questions. And I mean, she asks a lot of questions, and sometimes I tell her, I'm like, I don't think you're ready to hear that answer, and I'm very honest with her. I was like, I'll wait. I was like, I understand you want to know, but just know that, that time, it's not appropriate for you at this moment. And I'll be honest with her. She might get information from somebody else or from her friends, and I'll tell her, I was like, your friends probably don't know the right answer for that either. So don't trust whatever they're telling you. But when it's time, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And she knows that.
What I've learned with that, though, is that for a while I was like, Anissa, it is not your time.
Why you gotta put her
Calm
name out there?
down.
Nobody put her
'Cause
name out
let
there
me
like
tell
that.
you, my middle child is the most. She reminds me so much of me when I was young. But what made me start communicating more with her, even if it wasn't her time, is because she's asking questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's asking questions and I refuse to give her the answer, guess what's going to happen? She's going to get the wrong answers
From
with
somewhere else.
other people.
But I'll answer
So,
it, but
I-
I
and
won't
I
give
get
her
it, and
the
I get
full
it.
details.
But I just recently started like realizing this because, like I tell all my kids, you learn with your first child, and then you get better with your second, and then as you have more, you get better and better and better and better. But with her, I just realized that what, if she's asking these questions, is because like these conversations are happening, and she really wants to know. So there's a lot of things like that questions that she asks, and just conversations that we have that I'm not ready for.
Yeah.
So-
but you have to kind of
The fact
get
that she's
comfortable,
asking.
don't judge, and be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah, it's
Because-
hard, girl. I cringe inside
Oh,
sometimes.
I know, but you also
And I have
don't
to
want
pray.
you don't want your kids to not come to you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then go to other people.
That's for sure.
Because a lot of us, we're probably not comfortable talking to our parents about sex or asking them questions
Yeah.
about sex. So it's still kind of awkward to be that. But I get what you're saying. I think Ray, right?
Girl,
think
I
she
was just gonna
saying-
read
Read it. Yeah, what's going on in the
I
comments,
was just
Maria?
gonna
She
read
was
her
saying
comment.
her mom started
please.
talking to her
which is crazy.
when she
right?
was around 6.
6.
No, it's not, because I have a 7-year-old and I don't talk to her about sex, but I've talked to her about our body parts. I've talked to her
Yes.
about what we're capable
Yes.
of, about our periods, and
Yes.
sometimes she'll ask questions about this and then how long did now. So I've given her the breakdown about our body, about periods and things like that. So it's good to start talking to your girls, especially about that stuff at an early age. So she said, but sex in its connotation was already a negative thing at that point, and then I entered a religious space. It was a great way to distract me by saying I was waiting for marriage. That wasn't the case, though. I always knew it would be before then, but I still waited as long as I did for my own healing and to make sure I would be able to handle it. But it wasn't with the person I loved or anything. It was mine, so I decided what to do with it when I wanted to do it.
Exactly, and that
Yeah.
you decided because you were ready, and that's exactly what we're trying to allow women to feel is like you don't have to follow what the society is saying, like wait for the right person. Like at the end of the day, sex is not this magical moment that happens. I mean, it'll be nice if you got flowers and it's not that though. It's
Right.
Your first time is gonna end up probably being awkward and it's different. And
It
you
could
just
be, but
and it could be nice as well. I actually had a really nice moment, but like I said, the person that I did that with, they didn't know that it was my first time.
yeah.
But it was my choice.
And just to say, she did just what you were saying. She said she did everything else before she did the.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, okay. What? Yeah, we forgot. You guys didn't go around the room as far as what advice would you give to a virgin, Briyanna? What advice would you give to a virgin?
I would say
Any age, at the age of 15, at the age of 23, at the age of 29,
I would say
32.
do some research. Do some research. There's a lot of resources out there. Do some research. Watch some porns. All that. Do all of that.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Watch porn.
Because you got to know what you got to know.
Yeah.
Get into the
The only thing I would
Be
say
comfortable,
is
too.
just make sure that when you are doing it, you're ready to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
make
just
sure.
maybe because if they waited that long, if you don't feel like it's your time, then just as long as you're ready and comfortable, then don't judge yourself for doing it because you waited this long and it wasn't what you thought it would be, or
Exactly.
it was, so just do it
and
whenever
make sure
you're
you
ready.
like the person, at least.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
But I mean, there's people that have actually lost their virginity on a one night stand.
Yeah,
I've met
easy
some
to me.
people.
Yeah.
It
But
is
you don't
crazy.
actively hate them, which is good because you don't have this like negative connotation, this negative memory of a person because you didn't hate them. You just didn't happen to love them.
Right.
They were a
Yeah.
person and they had a purpose.
I mean, everybody has their own reason of why
Right.
they do it. Or they decide to do it when they do it. At the end of the day, you make sure it's something that you want to do and you're not pressured to do it. You want to actually do this and you've made the choice to do it. it's not a big thing. I think it's overrated. I think that we try to make it seem like, because the books, I mean, the movies, all of that, they hype it up more.
We don't want to take away from people's beliefs, though.
No,
So
I'm
if
saying,
someone really believes that they've waited this long and that's really what they want, and they want that beautiful moment, and they want the sparks and the flowers and all that, and go get it, because everybody
Agreed.
will find what they're looking for.
Agreed.
So if you want it, go
Say
get
it again, Myra.
If that's what you want, then go ahead. But, if not, then don't judge yourself if it doesn't
Yeah,
happen
of
the way you thought it
course,
would.
of course.
Yeah.
But that's more of the common thing. Like, you're gonna wait. I'm gonna find Mr. Charming over here, and Prince Charming, and
Not necessarily Prince Charming.
I have
just
the
somebody
guy that I
you
like
are
and love.
connected to.
and then you guys have sex, and then what? He moves on to the next person. So I mean, it's not always like that.
This sounds like a...
Sometimes it'll be you guys fall in love and
Not
you end up
always
getting married
necessarily.
and live happily ever after. But don't have that expectation that that's how your
Right.
first time is going to end up. Because if
So
you
you
have
can
that
be smart about it.
expectation, then you're going to be really disappointed, and that's not okay either. What advice do you have, Maddie?
I would say that my advice is that just know that your first time is not your last time, and that every time that it happens will not diminish your worth or your value.
I agree.
So
That's right.
just know, like, do with it what you will, but just know more times are coming, and if you didn't like that first one, then fuck it. Try another one.
That's right, girl.
Long as I got King Jesus.
She'll help you
What
find a good
advice
dick.
do you have for the virgins, Maria?
Okay, so for the virgins,
wait. Say that again.
for the virgins, touch for the very first time.
Oh, dear Lord, baby Jesus. Do not take her to karaoke.
Okay, so obviously you know that. I just want to say, like Bree said, do your research. I think that I'm targeting more of the younger girls that are virgins, and just know that, pregnancy is real, and like, you can't, like, once you're pregnant, girl, like, what you're gonna do is reality hits, like,
STDs
are you
are real.
gonna
So then tell them to wear a condom.
are you gonna like, get rid of
your
it? Are you
advice
gonna
is, like,
have it? Is
protection.
your are
Wear
you
a
gonna do your
condom.
life for the rest of no? But guys also lie to girls and say they wear condoms and then just take it off
can
before
see
they come.
if they
Like,
put the-
many things
You
come
know,
up with
hella
that. Like,
stories where these motherfuckers
well,
lie.
you are women talking though. I'm talking to young girls. Like, girl, like, just make sure that you do your research. One, with the guy that you're laying up next to. Two, you don't only catch shit through your vagina. You also catch shit through kissing. So
Yeah.
just make
Ask for
sure
the
that
papers.
you really look into who are you fucking.
Your hospital.
Who are you fucking? Like, really, like, sex is good. I get it. Like,
Well-
it's a good feeling. Yes, you experiment. You like that feeling. You want somebody, but come on, somebody isn't for everybody. So just make sure that you guys really, 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 like, do your homework on who you laying up with, because if the shit gets real and you get pregnant, guess what? That motherfucker's your baby daddy for the rest of that baby's life.
For 18 years?
Just whatever, 18, 21, 35, 44, 55, whatever. It's the daddy. So you're going to have to deal with that person for the rest of that baby's life.
That's your
So
life.
just make sure that you do your research, baby, because
take care
I
of
know
yourself.
that life, like, I know that penis feels good, but in reality, at
Well,
the
these
end of the
virgins
day,
don't know that. They don't know that it feels good.
but
they don't like
they
penis.
want the feeling, right? But they want the feeling because they already felt what two fingers felt like. They felt what the little, dildo felt like. They felt
You
what
really
the
know a lot
fucking
about that.
big black dick felt like. I'm just telling you. I'm talking. I didn't play with myself before I had sex, but I'm
Y'all better
learning
let
with you
Maria
girls.
finish.
You gonna let me rant? It's my damn birthday month. I'm telling
Oh
you.
my
Your
God.
birthday month.
All right, we got like 4
Baby,
more minutes.
just do your homework before you lay next to this man and know what you're messing with before you mess with him, okay?
That's good
Sex
advice,
is good,
Maria.
but it's not always good. Let me tell you.
That was good. That was a good way to end.
You done?
It was.
I love it.
No, it
it's
is.
your birthday month. It's your birthday
Yes.
month.
It's good because none of us brought up STDs or pregnancy.
Yeah.
So, and that's something to.
Herpes
there's a
is
lot
not
of,
curable.
There's a lot of people that get pregnant the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
I
for
I know
sure.
somebody who actually did. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's
Right?
Virgins that got pregnant the first time.
Yeah.
That's a real statistic.
that is a real ass one. All right. Well, does anybody else want to add anything? What are the comments saying, Maria?
All right. So we have Kyrie in here telling me that heartbreak. Oh, hold on. Let me go back because this thing jumps forever. Kyrie says heartbreak is a part of life. I get that. I get the heartbreak. I get that, Kyrie, but it's something about my kids that, you know, I will beat a bitch's ass over heartbreak. So I get it. It is something that I have to prepare for, and I understand that. So I just hope that God blesses them with the right person in their life. Ray says, be open-minded, answer all questions from your knowledge, and be patient. I agree, Ray. That is so true. Kari says, not always the case. I'm not sure what he was talking about, but great advice. E. What was he talking about, Bree?
I don't know.
I love that you read that and you were like, well, I don't know what he was talking about.
I thought he was calling somebody out. I mean,
He also
I'm
says that
really
boys
not sure.
need the same advice.
When you were
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about the
Let me say it
pregnancy
again.
messages.
Boys need the same
Please
advice.
say that again.
Some
So when
grown
I
folks
said
too.
virgins, I never said female virgins. And
I know, but we talked.
I'm
from
talking
a
about
girl's-
all virgins, and that's
Because the
what
guy could
males
impregnate
are-
a girl and be fucked forever, too.
right? And you could impregnate a crazy ass
The
girl,
wrong one.
right?
So Kyrie says, hell, it's some grown folks that need that advice.
Right,
Facts.
Right.
Briyanna said.
right.
I agree. It's true.
Well, that's pretty much wraps up today's show. At the end of the day, you just make sure it's something that you want to do. And, if you guys have any questions for the ladies, send them in through our Instagram or through our email, ladiesnightradioshow@gmail.com. And we will read your question on air and keep you anonymous. So, Briyanna, thank you so much for being here. You can find her every Thursday on the Good News Network. It's called The Queen Pin. It's at 6:30 every Thursday. She goes live. Make sure you guys check her out. Thank you for hanging out with the ladies tonight.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Marie wasn't too crazy. She didn't get you too drunk with that drink
Pretty
over
calm
there.
today, right?
Yeah, he's pretty calm.
Yeah. I don't really know I got crazy, but I was looking at filling up your cup because it looked almost empty.
No. She got
Marty
dry.
was like,
No.
and Marty was like, it looks good.
She's fine. She's fine.
So let me know
Well,
after the
thank you
show's
everybody
ready.
for tuning in to Ladies Night Radio. We really appreciate you. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ladies Night Radio Show. And yeah, we're on Twitter now as Ladies Night _RS because Ladies Night Radio Show was taken. I know. So follow us everywhere. We'll keep you posted, and we'll post some crazy pictures of Crazy Maria doing some crazy shit because it's her fucking birthday month.
Hey, November 30th, in case you want to know what day, November 30th.
That's right. We're going to be celebrating her birthday month all month. So thank you, ladies, for being here. Thank you for Briyanna. Thank you for all our listeners for tuning in and hitting the chat box. Ray, Kyrie, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us. I'm your host, Mysterious Jax. This is Ladies Night Radio Show. And just remember one thing, ladies.
You are enough.
That's right. I'm going to end the show with some Madonna, like a virgin. It's only right. It's only right. It's only right.